Tragic news out of Austin this morning. The FBI is investigating a mass shooting, which they deemed a potential terror attack at a bar that resulted in 2 people dying and 14 wounded.
The shooting took place outside a bar called Buford's Backyard Beer Garden just before 2 a.m. in Austin's 6th Street, which is known for its nightlife. The Department of Homeland Security says the gunman has been identified as 53-year-old Ndiaga Jenny. Police say that the gunman was wearing clothes with the words "property of Allah" and with an Iranian flag design. The U.S. and Israel, of course, conducted strikes on Iran over the weekend before the bar shooting took place. Austin's police chief, Lisa Davis, says that the suspect first drove past the bar several times before he stopped and then shot people from his SUV's window. According to Davis, the gunman eventually stepped out of his vehicle with a rifle and fired it at people walking on the street. Terrifying. Police were able to rush to the intersection and then shoot him.
Now, after the shooting, Texas Senate candidate James Tallarico said in part, quote, "I believe in the power of prayer. I believe prayer changes lives. I believe prayer changes the world. But there is something profoundly cynical about asking God to solve a problem that we're not willing to solve ourselves." Texas Governor Greg Abbott responded to Tallarico on X, writing in part, "The problem here, James, is not the gun show loophole. It's the unvetted immigrant loophole, allowing unvetted immigrants who are hostile to America, who are loyal to our adversaries like Iran, must end."
Both those responses are quite silly, honestly. We don't even know how he obtained the gun, whether it was, so I totally disagree with Tallarico that this is some obvious case for gun control. We don't know any details about whether there was something that could have been done to prevent him, crazy person, from doing something bad. So that's stupid to me. Similarly, I looked up his immigration status. He came here on a tourist visa, and then he married a U.S. citizen and got a green card. And so he was, in fact, vetted in some way. And I think most people who are in favor of restricting immigration are not in favor of limiting the marriage rights of U.S. citizens, right. I think. So that, too, would not have solved this problem. In a gigantic country of millions of people, there are crazy people, and we can certainly talk about what things can be done to better monitor the insane people. He, of course, had prior run-ins with law enforcement and, of course, had prior run-ins, concerns about his mental health status, and nothing was done. So let's, scrutinize that a little bit more. But, and if this, it could be that he's a crazy person, but the Iran news, it ties in together and caused him to act out. We should unfortunately expect blowback from Iranian regime-sympathetic crazy people or extremists in our midst, so we should be very vigilant for that. That is an unfortunate consequence of what we're doing that shouldn't deter us if this is still the right course of action, but as I said in my radar, I have yet to see it justified to me, so that's neither here nor there.
I think both Tallarico, like you said, we agree on that politicians that jump to conclusions or try to hurry up and respond is the wrong strategy.
Solution. We don't even know.
Yeah, so we both are always on the same page for the most part in this instance. I think that it should always start with prayers being with the victims. When I thought about what happens in Austin around this time, so Austin gets extremely humid starting after probably like May, April. So right now is like the time where everybody is outside. And so if you think about the shooting, it happened in an outdoor bar, probably crowded, lots of people out because these are one of the first weekends where the weather's really breaking. You think about something like this happening so tragically, it's again something that we want to protect people from, but it's a tragic situation. And that should be the only thing that politicians should figure out how to solve first, and then arrest the man, kill the man, like whatever the response is going to be, but also figure out how to bring unity in times where there's a lot of family and school students that are going to be traumatized by the instance. And so it's frustrating when we always see these type of attacks to figure out how the policy that you're pushing forth is the first thing or the most important thing in your statement, when really there's a lot of people that are probably in despair right now because of what just happened. And so, so it's a constant battle that politicians have, because Tallarico obviously is fighting for his life in this race that's coming up and wants to be relevant. But it's just not, not the time to try to point the finger. Now, Iran vows retaliation after the killing of Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, but does the moment demand military escalation? I will talk about that next in my lens. Stick around.